Welcome back to the road to Wololo. August, week 2. Actually in the first weekend of August, because the first week was played in the last weekend of July, but that's nobody's business. So you've got a HRE mirror between VortiX, one of the Spanish brothers, coming over from StarCraft 2 for roaring success here in AoE 4. In the blue trunks here, he's up against RecoN, one of our resident Age of Empires Online champions and perhaps the strongest multi-title player. RecoN here in the red trunks on the rack attack. I don't remember the name of this map, but it actually is a lot like Treasure Island from AoEO. Sorry to talk about it a fair bit. It's just my favourite game in the series. AoE 4 is quickly becoming it though. My favourite game of the series, not becoming AoEO, I mean. And VortiX going to go for early water. RecoN will be looking to do the same, just gathering with the villager before he throws the dock up, I expect. Because you will actually drop off. Oh, he's going to have to build it there because he's killed his fish anyway. I think he was deciding he was going to put it next to the stone. Because can you drop off all resources or just fish with villagers to your dock? Either that or he's going to look for a spot where it didn't delete any fish, but yeah, there we go. Ends up going with there anyway. So HRE mirror, our players actually might be better off empowering the wood early on here, because I mean really you only want 4 or 5 mils on the food here, and you know you're going to go up to like 5 or 6 on the wood if you're really going to commit to the water here. The fishing boat's being crammed out by our players. RecoN actually gathering the sheep from the far side here while he now is empowering the wood. So I mean if he had to move things around here, potentially save a bit of time with Prelate Micro. VortiX sort of done the same, but it's not quite as drastic the distance he's got to cover. But even still, both our players sort of distance gathering sheep from the wood, which just heightens the Prelate movement time. But, you know, sometimes under the pump, it's not easy to actually move everything around because it does cost you a bit of gather time fucking around trying to move everything over. I wonder if you're best off trying to gather the wood distance at the start, move your sheep to where your wood line's going to be, have your Prelate and your villagers all get empowered, then split everything up. It takes a lot of fucking patience to play HRE like that though, and it's something you don't really have to think about on all the other civs. But there's a huge sheep count here, particularly for VortiX. I think he's gone for the 2 early scouts, while RecoN has only gone for the 1 it seems. He's still got a great sheep count himself. Let's try and trying to get out past the scout there. But he's just making some more fishing boats for the moment. Yeah, it's a great sheep count there for VortiX. RecoN's still got a pretty good one though. And I mean, with access to the water, you don't really have to worry so much, because you're gathering from the fish anyway. And deep water fish must gather a little bit faster than shoreline fish, considering there's more travel time to this. Sorry, I'll control. That's one of the things I sort of don't understand is like water gather rates. I think deep water fish must gather extremely fast compared to shoreline fish, which are actually the best before upgrades food gather rate for villagers, right? Which is why VortiX is going for that over here. So players actually going to be able to go to age 2 reasonably quickly, even though they've invested in the water here. RecoN actually going to go for spears and a tower, which is going to force VortiX into having to do the same. Only a pair of spears is going to be a pretty slow way to whittle down everything. VortiX just garrisoning a couple of vills, try and deny one of those spears. Same time they're going to be able to force these scouts to back off. RecoN's up to the 4 fishing ships, but VortiX is already up to 7. So VortiX has the food to age up here. He doesn't have any gold at the moment, so he's gonna mostly be using his villagers to get wood so he can keep pumping out spears. Try and defend here. Villagers being microed to fight spears and try and deny this tower. There's only 2 vills actually finishing this off, so only take a couple of microed vills to destroy this, and RecoN has been repelled. The rack attack for the moment has been denied. He's gone for a slightly safer tower now. There is a little bit of a water eco advantage here for VortiX for the moment. RecoN running his prelate around the map to get a lot of empowerment off, because he's got plenty of villagers over here. At the same time, he's now sort of losing out in the melee trade there. RecoN's desperately going to try and get this tower up, sort of at the point where it's still going to be a big threat to VortiX, because he's not going to be able to keep gathering off this wood line much longer. At the same time, RecoN, he's got a huge spear count, but they're a little bit too slow on being able to clean this up. The villagers again going to try and contribute to the fight. It looks like RecoN is going to... One of his villagers getting taken down by the spears. He's going to have to be very careful to protect this other one from VortiX here. Focusing it down with a single spear there. RecoN surely should have an advantage here, because AoEO starts basically always look like this. But VortiX is making things work at the moment. He's taking out another one of the villagers there for RecoN, who's doing the dance with the 1 remaining. He's going to have to try and back off here and lick his wounds clean. Going for his Arch and Chapel. A little bit faster than VortiX now. VortiX on the 8 fishing ships, RecoN up to the 6, so VortiX still slightly in front on the water eco at the moment. RecoN has that lead with the age up. VortiX just a good number of spears to reduce through this, but RecoN has plenty back at home as well. Pellet being used to heal everything up before he goes and empowers, but I think empowerment's probably going to save RecoN more resources in the long run, or generate more than this will save. At the same time, I suppose he doesn't want VortiX overwhelming him, and if he can win a fight here, he can actually look at applying some pressure again, maybe going for a forward tower once again. But now, players will have Man-at-Arms production, and being HRE, it might be wise if they just beeline towards Castle Age as well for Regnit's Cathedral, control of the gold through relics, or trying to go for a quick Burgrave and possibly switching to mass infantry backed up with either stables or crossbows or mangonels. But if you do go for Regnitz, because Burgrave is the more aggressive path, you've often got to field double stables alongside it, just to make sure you can keep applying pressure and keep your opponent busy around the map while you do snatch up the relics. You know, and have some quick units just to make sure you're not going to lose any prelates that are trying to get the relics to wolves or to horsemen or knights from your opponent. One of those villages for RecoN falling. Now got a galley to try and defend the docks with. He's going to have to try and move it a little bit closer to actually pick it off. He's going to be able to whittle down all the spears now, and VortiX going to have to back off. VortiX has gone for another dock himself. He's had to move his fishing ships back because RecoN's starting to harass him with the galleys. He's pushed him off the wood line here as well, so for the moment RecoN appears to be in the driver's seat in this game. VortiX should be able to repair through the single galley and force him to have to get some more warships to really be able to mount a strong push here. Meanwhile, VortiX walling off the gold mine. Nice quick wall there for him. He's going to have a galley of his own. So double dock production will mean a lot of warships incoming for our players soon. As soon as they can get the wood and the gold to go for it. They're not going to just go for a quick Castle Age here, but it looks like they're getting very close. VortiX just a couple of 100 gold off, and RecoN getting a bit of gold and a bit of food, but mostly food, just to get there. Just making sure he doesn't lose too many or any vills here, while getting the 600 gold that he needs at the moment. He's adding another galley or two in the mix just to try and prevent RecoN from taking out all of his fishing chips. A couple of man-at-arms being used to clean up this army, and RecoN probably free to use that galley now with the main army. RecoN trying to work away at this other lumber camp here of VortiX. VortiX adding a galley in the meanwhile. I think we got a little bit of food, but it's no big deal at the moment. RecoN managed to squeeze in Regnit's Cathedral. Well, he's keeping this good pressure up. He's trying to take out that last wood encampment. He's got the man-at-arms out in the field as well. VortiX fighting within healing range of his dock. This is some nice micro for him. RecoN's going to have to send back the low galleys of his own, and it's a long trip home for him. Bringing forward the other galley at the moment. RecoN again trying to get as much value out of these spears as possible. There's just not enough to actually pick off any vills. So Regnitz versus Regnitz. Who's going to have the advantage here? RecoN stealing one of these mid-map relics, and he's going to probably look at going for all those, towering up that top one to deny VortiX the chance of getting on top of them. These spears going to be used to try and pick off RecoN's Vill. Can't quite take this fight because spears not going to be all that hot against the man-at-arms, but at the same time they've at least prevented that outpost from going up, and RecoN securing all those resources. RecoN having to be a little bit careful with his prelates. He's gone for two of them, the other one just sitting in the chapel for the moment, while VortiX now has added a second prelate as well. So he's sending them out to try and get these mid-map relics. He might even be able to get two of them, even though he started a little bit later on it. So RecoN control the relics, letting him down slightly here. VortiX might be able to snatch up this one. Oh, actually, maybe I take that back. There's a galley right here. This may be able to take out the prelate, so... Oh, VortiX. Is he going to be able to do it? No, RecoN denies this one. Oh, but VortiX perhaps able to make it home with one of the relics for now. And meanwhile, VortiX camping out one of RecoN's relics here. So a Hulk being added now for VortiX, and so RecoN having to retreat. He's got his own Hulk, but he's just wanting to fight inside healing range if he can now, because he's got not as much health on his galleys. Oh no, RecoN has actually denied the relic briefly there, but it's still close enough that VortiX can just use another prelate to drop it off. Still a nice pick off of the prelate, but even still, only one of these man-at-arms making it all the way to the wood line. He's going to force a big pullback, try and get these production facilities out. A couple of rangers, reduce some bowmen, be very handy against man-at-arms ball here. RecoN gonna have to add horsemen or bowmen into the mix to try and deal with the anti heavy armor archer there. Man-at-arms pick off another villager here at VortiX. So RecoN getting a hold of the central sacred. Getting that little bit of gold generation. So RecoN trying to go for a quick age 4. It is a little bit cheaper if you go for the Palace of Swabia. And it does produce villagers a little bit faster over a regular town centre. Produces them a little bit more cheaply as well. It's 20% cheaper. Imperial Age up for HRE if they go for it compared to regular civs. Prelate trying to secure this safe relic for VortiX, but it looks like RecoN going to be able to pick him off. All the village are getting picked off in response. 2 man-at-arms will be able to take out one of the crossbows here, but the other one should be able to clean up the pair of them. Get some nice micro here from VortiX. Really saving every last unit. RecoN going to be able to pick up one crossbow, but for the cost of 2 man-at-arms there. And now RecoN being pushed off the water at the moment. He does have Vil production over VortiX at the moment, and he has got the 2 relics under control of the Regnitz Cathedral there. VortiX will now be looking. Is he up to 2? Now be looking to get his second relic. Who's got the 5th relic? Because RecoN's got 2. VortiX is the 2. VortiX is 3 now, actually. Oh no, he's got the 2. Where the fuck? This last relic. So RecoN creeping forward with Siege. VortiX going with the same Age 4 tech path with Palace of Swabia now. It's a little bit slower than his opponents, but he's secured the water in the meanwhile. I still don't know what's happened to that 3rd fucking relic. 700 gold per minute for RecoN, so he must have 3. 1, 2. Ah, 3. So RecoN has the 3 relics over the 2 of VortiX at the moment. RecoN with a bit more gold trickle over VortiX here. And he might be looking at going in for the kill. He's got horsemen, he's got man-at-arms, and he's got knights. VortiX mostly going for crossbows for the minute. He's still got that barracks and adding another one now. RecoN. And look at adding bombards to try and take out structures quickly. Perhaps he needs to add a mangonel first just to make sure he can take out the crossbows. Going for some aggressive bombard towers now too. Palace of Swabia now being slowly focused down by RecoN. It's going to take 510 damage a shot here. So we'll go down quite quickly unless VortiX can clean it up with his ranged units. RecoN quick to retreat with it. Meanwhile, he's going to try and raid with knights and force the crossbows to come back and clean this up. Horsemen going to intercept the crossbows. There are a bunch of spears in production here. These guys will be faring quite well against the horsemen, while the crossbows being carded really well here. RecoN is eager to take out that Palace of Swabia at the moment. So VortiX needs these spearmen, and he needs them now. It might be a little bit too little too late, because there's almost no crossbows left in the Palace of Swabia. It's falling. GG. RecoN takes game number 2. They go to game number 3, locked up at 1-1.